Drakkar Dev is the developer behind Mirage 7, publishing handled by Blowfish Studios, a company known for publishing a variety of indie titles across PC and consoles. Blowfish has supported smaller teams bringing experimental or niche gameplay ideas to market, which explains why Mirage 7 feels like a project that swings for the fences, even if it occasionally hits the Empire side of the ball. Mirage 7 drops you into the role of Nadira, a woman searching for her missing sister in a mysterious desert region filled with ruins, strange creatures, and remnants of ancient civilizations. You're not alone though. Nadira is accompanied by her pet lizard Gigi, who plays a surprisingly important role in solving puzzles and navigating certain areas. The game mixes exploration, puzzle solving, and some light combat as you work through several different locations trying to uncover what exactly is going on in the desert full of secrets. At least, that's the idea. Because the story presentation is, let's just say, confusing as hell. I genuinely don't know who wrote the story for Mirage 7, but it honestly feels like two writers started the script, went to lunch separately, and never spoke to each other again. The game opens up with what looks like a modern day military base complete with drones and machine guns. Then it immediately cuts to a desert setting that looks like it's from 700 years ago, where someone is hooked up to wires like they just woke from the Matrix. Apparently, the drone being shot down is somehow supposed to connect these two timelines, but the game never really bothers to explain why that makes sense or how it makes sense. So right off the bat, you're wondering, what year is this? Who built this tech? And why does nobody seem remotely surprised by any of it? Because Nadira it certainly isn't. She reacts to discovering advanced technology the same way someone reacts to finding a parking space. Like, okay, cool. No questions, no curiosity. Once you get past the story confusion, the core gameplay revolves around exploration and puzzle solving. You control Nadira, along with lizard Gigi, as you move through 4 different locations in the game. Well, technically 4. The second area takes up most of the game, and unfortunately it's where the game starts to drag. A lot of the puzzles feel like they were intentionally stretched out to pad out time. Instead of solving something in 1 or 2 logical steps, you'll find yourself completing 4 or 5 smaller steps, which leads to a lot of running back and forth across the same areas, over and over and over again. There's one moment where you find a boat standing across from you about 10 feet across a small body of water. Next to you is a wooden stake with a rope that looks like it was cut. You already know what to do. Pass something to the rope and pull the boat back in. Easy. Except the game decides to make it way more harder, and instead of doing it with 1 or 2 bones that you collect, you need 4. So now you're running through a labyrinth of dark tunnels looking for a pile of skeleton bones, just so you can try to find 1 or 2 extra pieces and assemble a rope and anchor system. It's not challenging, it's just tedious. One of the game's mechanics is what they call lizard vision. It's basically eagle vision from Assassin's Creed. When activated, Gigi highlights objects you need to interact with, which becomes pretty necessary because some puzzle items blend into the environment. Combat in Mirage 7 is minimal. Your weapon lineup consists of a slingshot and a dagger. That's it. No upgrades, alternate weapons, no skill progression, just a dagger, which means like you're trying to fight underwater. The slingshot can fire both stones and lotus seeds, which are used for both puzzles and occasionally enemies during the later part of the game. Enemies include things like a giant sandworm, a spider, a glowing floating head, and a floating skeleton ghost. You will also spend a lot of time in your inventory, like a lot. Almost every item you pick up can be combined with something else, meaning you'll frequently be pressing X repeatedly trying to see which 2 items can snap together and make something useful. And sometimes the game goes full mad scientist and asks you to combine items, break them apart, then recombine them to make a whole different item. Instead of health potions, Nadira uses water to heal. You carry a canteen that can be refilled at small water pools across the levels. It's actually one of the more interesting mechanics of the game, although it's not really explained beyond that. The puzzles are definitely the main focus of the game, and I will admit that there are moments where solving them makes you feel really satisfied. You do get those aha moments when everything starts to click, but getting there can feel like a real chore because so many puzzles are padded with unnecessary steps that slow the pacing down. The story also never commits to explaining the bigger picture, which leaves the ending feeling like more confusing than intriguing. If you're curious about Mirage 7 and you enjoy puzzle-heavy games, it might be it for you. But personally, I won't pay more than $10 for it. If you can grab it on sale, I suggest doing so. Other than that, I'd say pass.